3 months had passed since the treatment for the Nori was created. The news was good. Thousands of Nori had been treated. Their crystal bodies now shone brightly again. Their children were being born healthy and strong. Dr. Hannah Park stood in her office, packing the small bag. On her desk sat awards and thank-you letters from around the world. One was from the president, thanking her team for making friends with the first aliens to visit Earth. There was a knock on her door. Guy entered with Bit riding on his shoulder. The Lumi had grown larger over the months. His fur now shifted through patterns of blue and silver. "Are you ready?" Guy asked. "The ship leaves in 2 hours." Hannah nodded. "Just about. I still can't believe they invited us." Today was a big day. Ambassador Shimmersong had invited Hannah, Guy, and several other humans to visit the Nori homeworld. They would be the first humans to travel to another star system. Even more amazing, the Nori had revealed something new. They were part of a group called the Stellar Alliance, 7 different alien species who worked together and shared knowledge. And now, they wanted to invite Earth to join. "Do you think Earth is ready?" Guy asked as they walked to the waiting car. "I'm not sure," Hannah said honestly. "We still have many problems to solve here. But maybe that's why they want us. We're good at solving hard problems." The trip to the launch site took an hour. A large crowd had gathered to see them off. Dr. Jaiho, Dr. Suk, and Dr. Dahyun were already there. Each had a Lumi companion now. Ambassador Shimmersong waited by the ship. It was much larger than the first one that had come to Earth. Its crystal surface sparkled in the sun. "Welcome, friends," Shimmersong said. "Are you ready to see the stars?" The humans nodded, excited but a little nervous too. "Before we leave," the ambassador said, "I must tell you something important. What happened here was not what we expected." "What do you mean?" Hannah asked. "When we brought the Lumi to Earth, we hoped you might help us," Shimmersong explained. "But we never thought you would solve our problem so quickly. None of the other Alliance species could have done what humans did." Jaiho smiled. "We just looked at it differently." "Exactly," the ambassador said. "That is your gift. You see things in new ways. You try what others think is impossible. The Alliance needs this thinking." As they boarded the ship, Hannah noticed many Lumi inside. They seemed excited, their fur glowing in happy colors. "The Lumi love space travel," Shimmersong explained. "And they have grown very attached to humans. They will help you feel comfortable on our world." The journey would take 2 weeks in the fast Nori ship. As Earth grew smaller in the viewing window, Hannah felt both sad and excited. "Look," Guy said, pointing to something amazing. In a large room at the center of the ship, Lumi and Nori were gathered together. Between them stood a glowing model of what looked like a huge city in space. "That is the Alliance Center," Shimmersong said. "Representatives from all member worlds live and work there. We hope Earth will open an embassy there soon." "And what are those?" Hannah asked, pointing to smaller models around the big one. "Those are research stations. The Alliance members work together to solve problems no one species can solve alone. This one studies new forms of energy. This one explores ways to heal damaged planets." Bit jumped down and walked to one empty platform. He looked back at the humans and made a questioning sound. Shimmersong's crystal body flickered with what seemed like a smile. "Yes, that space is for Earth's first project. The Alliance is very interested in your ideas about bringing life to dead worlds." Hannah looked at her fellow humans, then at the Lumi who had changed everything, and finally at the stars growing brighter as they left Earth's atmosphere. "When you first came to our world," she said to Shimmersong, "we thought you were giving us a gift of strange pets, but you really gave us a future among the stars." "No," the ambassador said kindly. "You earned that yourselves. The Lumi just helped you see what was already there, your amazing human ability to make the impossible possible." As the ship accelerated toward the stars, Bit and the other Lumi began to sing a beautiful, strange song. It sounded like hope and new beginnings. The greatest adventure in human history had just begun. 2 weeks had passed since Dr. Jaiho's big discovery. The lab never slept now. Scientists worked day and night, trying to create a treatment that could save the Nari. Dr. Hannah Park hadn't been home in days. She looked tired but happy as she watched her team work. "How is the testing going?" she asked Jaiho. "Better than we hoped," he said, showing her test results on his tablet. "The human DNA part fits perfectly with the Nori cells, and when we add a special protein from the Lumi, the whole thing works even better. It's like a 3-part puzzle," Dr. Suk added. "Each species has one piece." 5 Nori had come to the lab to help with the work. Their crystal bodies had grown duller in recent weeks. The oldest one, called Deep Chime, could barely move now. "Time is running short for our people," Ambassador Shimmersong told Hannah. "Many are falling into the final sleep." Hannah put a hand on the crystal being's arm. "We're working as fast as we can." That afternoon, Jaiho called everyone together. Luma from all parts of the lab gathered too, as if they knew something important was happening. "We're ready for the first real test," Jaiho announced. He held up a small vial of glowing blue liquid. "This contains the treatment we've created." Deep Chime stepped forward. "I volunteer to be first." The old Nori's crystal body had many cracks now. Parts were turning gray instead of clear. Everyone knew Deep Chime didn't have much time left. Yoon Gai stood nearby with Bit on his shoulder. The Lumi seemed to understand the importance of this moment. His fur had turned a deep, hopeful blue. Jaiho carefully poured the blue liquid over Deep Chime's crystal form. It soaked into the cracks and disappeared. Nothing happened at first. The room was silent. Then, slowly, something began to change. The gray areas of Deep Chime's body started to clear. The cracks began to seal themselves. A soft light grew stronger inside the Nari's body. "It's working," Suk whispered. After an hour, Deep Chime stood taller. The crystal body shone with fresh light. The cracks were gone. "How do you feel?" Hannah asked. "Renewed," Deep Chime said, "like I did 1,000 years ago." The room burst into happy sounds. Scientists hugged each other. The Lumi made joyful trilling noises. "We need to make more of the treatment," Jaiho said. "Enough for all the Nari." A Nori scientist named Starsong approached Hannah. "There is something you should know. We have studied what happened here. No other species we have met would have solved our problem." "What do you mean?" Hannah asked. "Most species think in straight lines," Starsong explained. "They follow one path of thought. But humans jump between ideas. You connect things that seem unrelated. You try things that seem impossible." Jaiho nodded. "That's true. When we were stuck, we tried crazy ideas just to see what would happen. And the Lumi helped you do this even better," Starsong said. "They enhanced your natural creativity. Together, you found an answer in weeks that we couldn't find in centuries." That night, as the lab made more of the treatment, Hannah stood by a window looking at the stars. Yoongi joined her, with Bit riding on his head. "Do you think the Nori planned all this?" Yoongi asked. "Did they know the Lumi would connect with us this way?" Hannah shook her head. "I don't think so. I think they hoped we might find an answer, but they never imagined how we would do it." "Humans are pretty good problem solvers," Yoongi said with a smile. "We are," Hannah agreed. "But we're even better when we work with others who think differently." That's what happened here. The Lumi didn't just help us. They connected us. They showed us how much more we can do together than alone. Bit made a soft sound and his fur glowed with golden light. It seemed like the little creature was happy with how things had worked out. "I wonder what will happen next," Yoongi said, looking up at the stars. Hannah smiled. "Something amazing, I think." 1 month after the big meeting, the Lumi Research Center had grown even larger. Now it took up 10 buildings. Lumi lived in each one, working with scientists from all over the world. Dr. Jaiho Kang sat in his lab late one night. He was trying to understand the Nari's genetic problem. But the work was hard. The crystal aliens had DNA that was very different from anything on Earth. I just don't see the answer, he said to himself. 3 Lumi sat nearby, watching him. They had taken to following Jiho around the lab. One was sky blue, one was green with gold spots, and one was silver. They made soft sounds to each other as Jiho worked. Suddenly, all 3 Lumi jumped onto his desk. They sat in a triangle shape and began to glow. Their eyes locked with each other, and then they all looked at Jiho. "What are you doing?" he asked. The Lumi made a sound Jiho had never heard before. Then something very strange happened. Jiho felt a warm feeling in his head. It was like the Lumi were somehow connected to his mind. Ideas began to flow into his thoughts. He could suddenly see the Nari DNA in a new way. Patterns jumped out that he had missed before. "Of course," he shouted, grabbing his tablet to write down what he was seeing. "The problem isn't in their basic DNA. It's in how the cells talk to each other." For 2 hours, Jiho wrote and drew diagrams. The Lumi stayed in their triangle, the glow between them growing brighter. When Jiho finally stopped writing, he had filled 50 pages with new ideas. The Lumi stopped glowing and fell over, looking very tired. Jiho carefully picked them up and put them in a soft bed. "Thank you," he whispered. The next morning, Jiho burst into Hana's office. "You won't believe what happened." He told her about the Lumi helping him think in a new way. Hana listened with wide eyes. "We need to check if this is happening in other labs," she said. Soon reports came in from around the world. Whenever 3 or more Lumi were together, they could form what scientists called a neural network. This network could connect with human minds, making people think better and see new answers. In India, Lumi helped scientists make crops that needed less water. In Africa, Lumi worked with doctors to find new cures for old diseases. In Australia, Lumi showed how to clean the ocean of plastic waste. "They're not just adapting to help us," Hana told her team. "They're helping us adapt too, making us smarter." Yoonge nodded. "Bit and I have been like that from the start. But it's stronger when more Lumi work together." Dr. Suk, who had been studying Lumi behavior, spoke up. "I think they're becoming a bridge between our species. They understand both humans and the Nari in ways we can't understand each other." Ambassador Shimmersong visited the lab to see these new developments. The crystal being watched as a group of Lumi helped scientists solve problems. "This is beyond what we hoped for," Shimmersong said. "We thought the Lumi might show us new ways to think about our problem. We never imagined they would directly help both our species like this." That evening, Jiho called everyone to the main lab. Bit and 5 other Lumi had been working with him all day. "I think we found something," Jiho said, his eyes bright with excitement. "A way to fix the Nari genetic problem." He showed complex diagrams on the big screen. "The Lumi helped me see that the Nari need a small part of human DNA. Something we have that makes our cells work well together." Hana looked amazed. "So humans have the answer the Nari were looking for all along." "Yes," Jiho said. "But we never would have seen it without the Lumi helping us think in new ways. It's like they translated between our species." Bit jumped onto Yoonge's shoulder and made a happy trilling sound. The little creature seemed to understand exactly what had happened. "We need to start making a treatment right away," Jiho said. "If this works, we might save the Nari." As the scientist hurried to work, Yoongai looked at Bit with wonder. These creatures from another world had not just adapted to Earth. They had helped humans reach beyond what they thought possible. The meeting room was filled with important people from around the world. Leaders sat with serious faces. Scientists whispered to each other. Guards stood at every door. Dr. Hana Park and Yoongai sat in the front row. Bit curled up quietly in Yoonge's lap. After helping save lives in the Philippines, they had rushed back for this important meeting. Ambassador Shimmersong stood in the center of the room. The crystal being's body sparkled less brightly than usual. We must tell you the full truth about the Lumi, Shimmersong began. We did not share everything when we first came to Earth. The room grew very quiet. The Nori are dying, Shimmersong said simply. Our kind is slowly fading away. For many years, our children have been born weak. Many do not live long. Each generation, there are fewer of us. Images appeared on the big screen, showing crystal beings that looked dull and cracked. We have a problem in our very cells, Shimmersong continued. Something we cannot fix ourselves. We have tried for hundreds of years. Hana leaned forward. This explained a lot. The Lumi were our last hope, the ambassador said. We changed them to help find answers. Then we looked for a species that might see things differently than we do. A young, creative species that might find solutions we missed. So you used us, said the American president angrily. You lied to get our help. Shimmersong's colors dimmed more. We did not tell the full truth. We were afraid you might say no. Our entire species may soon be gone. We were desperate. The room filled with loud voices. Some people were angry. Others wanted to know more. A few seemed to understand the Nari's actions. The Chinese leader stood up. These Lumi creatures, how do we know they are safe? Perhaps they will harm humans after they have been here longer. They were made only to help, Shimmersong said. They cannot harm any living thing. We should destroy them, said a military general. They could be dangerous. We don't know what they might become. Yoon-gai held bit tighter. The Lumi made a soft, sad sound. Dr. Jeho stood up. That would be wrong. The Lumi have already helped us in many ways. They healed people in the Philippines. They can clean pollution. They might help solve many problems on Earth. But they were made to help the Nari, not us. Someone shouted. Hana finally spoke up. Actually, that's not quite right. She walked to the front of the room. I studied the Lumi for months now, she said. They were designed to adapt and solve problems. The Nori hoped that by watching how the Lumi change on Earth, they might learn something to save themselves. But the Lumi themselves have become something the Nori never expected. She showed pictures of the Lumi healing people, cleaning water, and helping plants grow. The Lumi are becoming what Earth needs, Hana explained. They're changing to help us with our biggest problems. Yes, the Nori hoped this process might give them answers. But the Lumi are helping us too. The room was split. Some people nodded. Others still looked angry or afraid. A scientist from Brazil stood up. I say we continue to study the Lumi. If there's even a small chance they can help both our species, we should try. The debate went on for hours. In the end, they took a vote. The Lumi project will continue, the United Nations Secretary announced, but with more oversight. And the Nari must share all information with us from now on. Shimmersong's body brightened a little. Thank you. We will hide nothing more. As they left the meeting, Yoon-gai whispered to Hana, do you think we can really help the Nori? Hana looked at Bit, who was watching everything with those intelligent eyes. I don't know, she said, but I think the Lumi are becoming more than either humans or the Nori imagined. And that might be exactly what both our worlds need. The news showed terrible pictures from the Philippines. A big earthquake had hit Manila. Buildings had fallen. Roads were broken. Many people were trapped under heavy concrete and steel. Dr. Hana Park watched the reports with a worried face. Her sister lived in Manila with her family. I need to go help, she told her team the next morning. My sister hasn't answered her phone. Dr. Jeho nodded. We understand, but you should not go alone. Yoon-gai stepped forward. I'll go with you. And Bit too. Bit, hearing his name, jumped onto Yoon-gai's shoulder. The Lumi's fur turned a determined red color. Hana thought for a moment. The Lumi have never been outside the lab before, but after what Bit did with Min's arm, she nodded. Yes, bring him. 2 days later, Hana, Yoon-gai, and Bit arrived in Manila with a team of rescue workers. The city was in chaos. Dust filled the air. People cried for help from under fallen buildings. Hannah showed a picture of her sister to the local rescue team. "Have you found this family?" The team leader shook his head. "No." And their building was hit hard. They went to the apartment building where Hannah's sister lived. Half of it had fallen down. Rescue dogs barked, trying to find people under the broken concrete. Bit jumped from Yoongi's arms and ran to the building. His fur changed to a deep purple color no one had seen before. He made a high sound and then listened. "What's he doing?" asked a rescue worker. "I think he's looking for people," Yoongi said. Bit ran to a spot and started digging with his small paws. Then he looked back at them and made an urgent sound. The rescue team brought tools and started digging where Bit showed them. After an hour, they found 3 people alive. One was Hannah's sister. As the day went on, Bit found 12 more people. Each time, he knew exactly where to dig. Sometimes he would put his paws on fallen concrete, and the rescue team noticed the concrete seemed to become lighter and easier to move. At one building, they found a young boy with a crushed leg. The doctors said he might lose it. Without asking anyone, Bit jumped onto the stretcher and placed his small body against the boy's leg. The same blue light they had seen in the lab began to glow. The doctors were amazed when the boy's leg began to heal before their eyes. News of the Lumi's health spread fast. Soon, other countries dealing with disasters asked if Lumi could come help them too. That night, as they rested in a makeshift tent, Hannah looked at the data from Bit's body. What she found shocked her. "Yoongi, look at this," she said. "These patterns in Bit's cells. They're not natural. Someone made them this way on purpose." Yoongi frowned. "You mean the Nori?" "Yes. The Lumi were engineered to do exactly what they're doing now. These helper abilities weren't accidents or surprises. They were built in from the start." "But why would the Nori lie about it?" Yoongi asked. Before Hannah could answer, her phone rang. It was Dr. Jae-ho from the lab. "Hannah, you need to come back right away," he said, his voice urgent. "The Nari ambassador has requested an emergency meeting with all Earth leaders. They say they have something important to tell us about the Lumi." "I think I know what they're going to say," Hannah replied. "The Lumi weren't just a friendly gift. They were made for a reason." As she hung up, Hannah looked at Bit, who was curled up asleep after his hard day of rescue work. The little creature had saved her sister's life. But what was the real reason the Nori had sent these amazing beings to Earth? And would humans still want them when they learned the truth? 6 months had passed since the Nori gifted the Lumi to Earth. The research lab had grown bigger. Now it had special rooms that looked like forests, deserts, and oceans. Each room had Lumi living in it, showing how they could change to fit different places. Yoongi walked through the lab, checking on the Lumi. His friend Bit followed him, now the size of a small dog. Bit's fur changed colors as they moved from room to room, matching the surroundings. "You're getting better at that," Yoongi said with a smile. Bit made a happy trilling sound and rubbed against Yoongi's leg. The bond between them had grown strong. Bit almost never left Yoongi's side now. In the main lab, Dr. Hannah Park was talking with Dr. Jae-ho about new test results. "Their brains keep getting more complex," Jae-ho said, pointing to the brain scans on his screen. "Nothing like this was in the Nori's data." Hannah nodded. "The Lumi are changing faster than we expected. I think we need to talk to the Nori again." Before they could say more, there was a loud crash from the testing area. Someone yelled for help. Yoongi ran to see what happened. A large glass tank had broken. Sharp pieces were everywhere. A young lab worker named Min sat on the floor, holding his arm. Blood flowed from a deep cut. "Get the first aid kit," Yoongi shouted. Bit jumped forward before anyone could stop him. The Lumi pressed his small body against Min's bleeding arm. Bit's fur turned a deep blue color. A soft light glowed where the Lumi touched the wound. Everyone froze. No one had ever seen a Lumi do this before. After a minute, Bit stepped back. Where the deep cut had been, now there was only a thin pink line. The bleeding had stopped completely. How? How did he do that? Min asked, looking at his arm in wonder. Yoon-gae knelt beside Bit, who now seemed tired. I don't know. This is new. Dr. Da-hyun came running with the first aid kit, then stopped when he saw Min's arm. That's not possible, he said. The cut was too deep to heal that fast. News of what Bit had done spread quickly through the lab. Other researchers began reporting strange things they had seen the Lumi do. A Lumi in the plant room had made dead seedlings grow again. 2 Lumi in the water tank had cleaned dirty water in minutes. A Lumi in the radiation test area had absorbed harmful rays, protecting a lab mouse. That evening, Hannah called an emergency meeting with Ambassador Shimmersong. The Nori's crystal body flickered with blue and green lights when Hannah showed videos of the Lumi's new abilities. You didn't tell us they could heal, Hannah said, or clean radiation, or bring plants back to life. Why keep these things secret? Shimmersong's lights dimmed slightly. We did not keep secrets. We truly did not know. How could you not know? Dr. Jaiho asked. These are your creatures. The Lumi have lived with us for thousands of years, Shimmersong explained. But on our world, they never showed these abilities. Something about Earth or humans has awakened powers we never saw before. The room fell silent as everyone thought about what this meant. It seems, Shimmersong finally said, that the Lumi are changing to become what humans need most. They sense your world's problems and are trying to help fix them. Dr. Suk, who had been quiet until now, spoke up. So they're becoming what we need, not what we want. Yes, said the Nori. And I think we're only seeing the start of what they can do. Later, as Yoon-gae fed Bit some special food, he thought about what this meant. If the Lumi were changing to help humans most, what would they become next? And had the Nori known this might happen all along? Bit looked up at him with knowing eyes, as if the little creature understood exactly what Yoon-gae was thinking. Dr. Hannah Park's new lab was built in just 2 weeks. The large glass building sat on the edge of Seoul National University. Inside, 20 of the world's best scientists worked day and night to understand the alien Lumi. Team meeting in 5 minutes, Hannah called out as she checked her notes one more time. She had chosen her team carefully. Dr. Jaiho Kang was a genetics expert with quick eyes and a careful mind. Dr. Suk Lee knew more about animal behavior than anyone Hannah had ever met. Dr. Da-hyun Ryu was a vet who could treat any sick animal on Earth. Now he would try to help creatures from the stars. The team gathered around a large table. On screens behind Hannah, pictures and data about the Lumi glowed. It's been 1 month since the Nori gave us the Lumi, she said. What have we learned? Jaiho spoke first. Their DNA, or what looks like DNA, is amazing. It can change faster than anything on Earth. When we put a Lumi in a new place, its body starts to adapt within hours. Show them, Hannah said. Jaiho touched his tablet. A video showed a Lumi with blue-gray fur being placed in a cold room. After just 6 hours, its fur had grown thicker and turned white. Another Lumi in a hot room grew less fur and developed skin that didn't lose water as fast. Jaiho added. Suk tapped her pen on the table. But the most interesting thing is their brains. They're small, but very complex. The Lumi learn faster than any Earth animal. They can solve puzzles that would challenge a smart dog or even a young child. Da-hyun nodded. And they're healthy. No signs of any disease or problems. The Nori did good work making sure they would do well here. A young research assistant named Yoon-gae Choi raised his hand. He was new to the team, just out of school, but Hannah had liked his fresh ideas. Yes, Yoon-gae, she asked. I've been working with the Lumi we call Bit, he said shyly. I think there's something more to their empathy skills than just feeling emotions. Hannah waved him to the front. Show us. Yoon-gae brought out a small Lumi with silver-blue fur. Bit sat calmly in his hands, looking at the scientists with bright green eyes. Watch this, Yoon-gae said. He set Bit down on the table and stepped back. Then he closed his eyes and made his face look sad. Vit's fur darkened to gray. The little creature made a soft sound and moved toward Yungai. Then something strange happened. As Bit got closer to Yungai, the young man's face relaxed. He opened his eyes. "Did you feel that?" he asked the room. "When I feel sad, Vit doesn't just sense it. He somehow makes the feeling less strong." The scientists murmured to each other. This was new. "It's like he's taking some of the bad feeling away," Yoongit explained. "And look." He pointed to a small plant on the table that had been dying. Where Bit had walked past it, the leaves looked greener. Hannah frowned. The Nori didn't mention healing abilities in their data. "Let's run more tests." Over the next weeks, the team found more surprises. The Lumi didn't just adapt to their environments. They seemed to improve them. Plants grew better near them. Water in their tanks stayed cleaner. People who spent time with them reported feeling more calm and focused. "Something doesn't add up," Hannah told her team one evening. "Why would the Nori leave out these abilities from their information? What else might the Lumi be able to do that we don't know about yet?" Just then, her computer beeped with a message. A Lumi in the desert test site had developed tiny solar panels on its skin, like nothing seen before. In the ocean lab, another had grown small gills. Yoongai looked at Bit, who was curled up sleeping on his desk. "I think," he said slowly, "that we've only seen the beginning of what these creatures can do." Hana nodded. The Lumi were far more than just cute alien pets, but what were they really? And what did the Nori want Earth to do with them? The meeting hall in Seoul was packed with important people from around the world. Leaders wore their best clothes and serious faces. Scientists clutched tablets and notebooks. Security guards stood at every door, eyes watchful. Dr. Hana Park sat in the front row. As South Korea's top biologist, she had been chosen to lead the team that would study the alien creatures. Her heart beat fast under her neat blue suit. "I never thought I would meet beings from another world," she whispered to herself. The room fell silent as the doors opened. Ambassador Shimmersong entered, followed by 3 other Nori. Their crystal bodies made soft bell-like sounds as they moved. They carried containers that glowed with soft blue light. The president of South Korea stood up. "Welcome to Earth. We are honored by your visit." Shimmersong's body rippled with colors. "The honor is ours. For centuries, we have watched your kind grow and learn. Your curiosity and spirit remind us of ourselves when we were young." The crystal being moved forward and placed the containers on the large table in the center of the room. "We bring you the Lumi. They are companions from our world that we have carefully changed to live well on Earth." Hana leaned forward to see better. Inside each container were small creatures about the size of rabbits. They had soft fur that shifted colors like the northern lights. Their eyes were large and bright. They moved with grace, watching the humans with what looked like interest. "The Lumi have been our friends for thousands of years," Shimmersong explained. "They can adapt to many environments. They are gentle, smart, and form deep bonds with those who care for them." One of the other Nori stepped forward with a large data crystal. "This contains all the information you will need about their biology, care, and abilities." The president looked uncertain. "While we appreciate your gift, we must be careful. Earth has had problems when new species were brought to places where they did not belong." Shimmersong's lights pulsed in what seemed like understanding. "Wise concerns. The Lumi have been specially made to live with humans without harm. They cannot reproduce without help and will not upset your planet's balance. They are meant to be companions, not invaders." Hannah raised her hand and was called on to speak. "What do they eat? Do they carry any diseases? How do they communicate?" "All this and more is in the data we provide," Shimmersong answered. "But to show our good faith." The ambassador opened one container and gently lifted out a small Lumi. Its fur shifted from blue to a gentle pink as it was handled. Shimmersong approached Hana. "Would you like to hold one? This female is called Mist in our language." Hana hesitated, then held out her hands. The Lumi was placed carefully in her palms. It was warm and light, like holding a cloud. The creature looked up at her with deep purple eyes. Something happened that Hannah could not explain. A feeling of calm and curiosity flowed through her mind. The Lumi made a soft trilling sound, and its fur matched the blue of Hannah's suit. "They are empathic," Shimmersong explained. "They sense feelings and respond. This one likes you." The other people in the room watched with wide eyes. Some looked afraid, others amazed. The Lumi turned to face them, then back to Hannah, as if asking a question. "Dr. Park," the president said after a long moment, "I am naming you the head of our new Lumi research team. Choose your people. Learn everything you can about these creatures." Hannah nodded, still looking at the small being in her hands. "I accept." That night, as the world's news told the story of the alien gift, Hannah sat in her new lab. Mist sat nearby, watching her with those intelligent purple eyes. "What are you really?" Hannah asked softly. "And why did they bring you to us?" The Lumi simply trilled in response, but somehow Hannah felt that there was much more to learn about their visitor's gift than anyone yet understood. Dr. Tae-sung Kim floated to the window of the International Space Station. It was his daily ritual to look at Earth and the stars beyond. Today marked his third month in space. The blue planet below still took his breath away each time. "Beautiful, isn't it?" he said to no one. He raised his camera to take pictures of the sunrise over Asia when something caught his eye. A small dot of light moved in a way that no satellite or space debris should. It changed direction too smoothly. Tae-sung blinked and looked again. The light grew larger. "Commander Han," he called over the radio. "I see something strange outside. Can you check the radar?" Commander Han's voice crackled back. "Nothing on our systems, Kim." "Are you sure?" "Very sure," Tae-sung said. "It's getting closer." Within an hour, every space agency on Earth was on high alert. The object now shimmered like a diamond in the sun. It was the size of a small bus and moved with clear purpose. NASA, the Korean Space Agency, and 5 other countries held emergency meetings. This was not a natural object or any known human craft. The object stopped exactly 1 kilometer from the space station. It hung there, sparkling with colors that seemed to shift and dance. "It's waiting," Tae-sung whispered. He was right. 3 hours later, a signal came through on all radio channels. The sound was like crystal bells, but hidden in the tones was a simple message in every human language. "We come in peace. We are the Nari. May we speak." World leaders argued for days about how to respond. Some wanted to shoot the object down. Others wanted to welcome the visitors. In the end, curiosity won. Earth sent back a simple message: yes. The diamond-like ship moved closer. A clear section opened, revealing beings made of what looked like living crystal. They glowed with inner light that pulsed like heartbeats. The tallest of these beings spoke directly into the station's communication system. "I am Shimmersong, ambassador of the Nari. We have watched your kind for many years. We believe it is time to meet." Videos of the Nori spread across Earth like wildfire. People reacted in all the ways humans do when faced with something new and frightening. Some prayed. Some protested. Many simply stared at their screens in wonder. Tae-sung was chosen to be the first human to speak directly with the aliens. His hand shook as he approached the communication system. "Welcome to our part of space," he said, trying to keep his voice steady. "Why have you chosen now to show yourselves?" Shimmersong's light patterns shifted to what seemed like a smile. "Your people have reached a special point in your growth. You look to the stars with hope instead of fear. Most importantly, you are ready for our gift." "Gift?" Ta-sung asked. "Yes," the crystal being said. "We have brought companions for your species, living creatures from our world that we believe will help humanity reach its full potential." 1 week later, the Nori ship landed in an open field outside Seoul, South Korea. Soldiers, scientists, and government officials surrounded the landing site. News cameras broadcast to billions of people. The ship opened. Shimmersong stepped out, crystal body catching the sunlight and breaking it into rainbows. Behind the ambassador came other Nori carrying clear containers. Inside each container moved small creatures unlike anything on Earth. "These are the Lumi," Shimmersong announced to the world. "They are our gift to humanity. They will change your future in ways you cannot imagine." No one knew then just how right those words would be.